Hi, this is Jack. This is going to be my bar-by-bar review for the S&P 500 futures contract for, what is today? Tuesday, December 17th, 2024. And I'm going to fix the right side margin real quick. Do that. Okay. Bar 1 is a big gap down. I believe yesterday or today, the futures contract rolled over to the next expiration date, so we're on March now, and I think the continuous contract had a gap up, but we have a big gap down on the actual contract, and bar 1 is a bear bar closing above its midpoint. It's a doji bar, and we're just above support here, last month's high. We tested that level yesterday, and we formed a trading range that oscillated around this level yesterday, so this is clearly an important price level that people are paying attention to. We also have some round numbers here, 61.20, 61.30 just above, and it's likely that either of those prices will be tested. But bar 1, not enough information, better to wait. Bar 2, inside bar, doji bar, breakout mode, we have a small triangle. If the bears are so strong enough to gap the market down, why are the first two bars of the day doji bars, and why is bar 2 overlapping bar 1? So that tells me that we're going to form some sort of trading range where there are probably going to be sellers above and buyers below. Bar 3, we made a higher low with 2 and broke out above 2, and now we have a strong bull bar closing near its high. It's a strong bull reversal bar, and we're probably going to get a second leg up. Reasonable to look to buy a pullback. I'm not sure that I would buy the close here. And only 3 bars into the day so far, this isn't really enough information for me to act on. But we have yesterday's low here, the dashed red line, and then last month's high here. I expect these levels to be tested at some point today. Small follow through bar on bar 4. Looks like the pullback entry worked, but we're failing to close beyond the prior bar's high, and we have a prominent tail here, so this is more of a trading range bar, probably, than a trend bar. It looks like we tried to test the bar 2 stop entry bar high, but we didn't quite get there, and we tested bar 1's high and reversed up. I expect us to go a little bit higher, but so far there's a lot of overlap today, and the first 4 bars are not all that impressive. Bar 5, another small pullback, and then a rally, this time closing on or near its high. We're approaching a round number, 61.35, and we may get to yesterday's low. Lots of overlap, probably strong enough for a second leg up, probably going a little bit higher. Then bar 6. Bar 6 is outside down, and it's a strong bear bar. It's a breakout bar. We're reversing down just below 61.35, and we may be going lower. But so far, it's confusing. We have a small triangle that we're breaking out of. It looks like we're testing the bar 1 high again on bar 6. And it's reasonable to think that we'll break out below bar 6 and get back down to the midpoint of the triangle here from 1 and 2. So 6, probably going lower, but we may need to pull back first for a second leg up from the rally starting on 3. And instead, we get a surprise bear breakout on bar 7. Bar 7 is strong enough, 6 and 7, consecutive bear bars, probably going lower, probably needs a second leg down. But the problem with 7 is it's a bit climactic. It's a bigger bar and bigger body, and there's a prominent tail on the bottom of 7. So that tells me that we may need to pull back a little bit before we go lower. So pull back on bar 8 and then a sell-off, but failing to close beyond the prior bar, still probably going lower. And then strong bear breakout on 9. 9 is breaking out below all of the bars to the left today and closing below last month's high. Back into the middle of this trading range that we had from the prior day. It looks like we're also testing yesterday's close. Bar 81 close is right here at about this line as well. Possibly going lower, but this is a new breakout of a trading range, so it's a new market cycle, and we need follow through. We have a doji bar with a deep pullback into bar 9. We failed to close below the low of 9, and we made a higher close compared to the close of 9. So we may be near the bottom of a trading range, and we may start to go sideways here. Channeling lower on bar 11, but again a doji bar, again with the close being at about the same price as the prior bar. And that tells you that the bears are losing momentum. And every bar that we add to the chart and continue to go sideways with lowers the probability of lower prices. Therefore, if you're short, you have at least 2 or 3 legs down, implied legs. And if we start to rally and form strong buy signal bars, bears are probably going to be forced to cover and look to sell again higher if we're in a trading range. And so far, I think today is a trading range. Bar 12, good follow through for the bears, but again, failing to close beyond the prior bar. If it's so bearish, how come we are not closing below the low of 11? And why are we closing at or above that low? So good bar for the bears, no reason to buy yet. It's a strong micro channel since 6, but we're losing momentum and we're starting to get bad follow through. A couple of doji bars here at the same price level, and now an inside bar or a near inside bar failing to close beyond the prior bar. I expect us to find buyers somewhere down here. We may be near the low of a trading range. We're also testing a prior day's low or a prior week's low here, this thick dashed red line. And just below we have some magnets. We have a prior day low here and then last week's low here. And we may be getting pulled down to those magnets. So it's confusing, and that means you're in a trading range. And we could be near the bottom. The bottom could be the low of 42 over here, which is about this prior day's low here, this dashed red line. Oops, sorry. So bar 12, probably going a little bit lower, but losing momentum and getting a little bit overdone. Bar 13, failed bull breakout, prominent tail, probably going lower. It's a sell signal bar because it's closing below its midpoint, and therefore I expect us to go lower. But again, if it's so bearish, why are we stalling here around 61.20 and last month's high? How come we're failing to close below prior bars and we're not really moving down? We are channeling lower, but we're not moving lower. And then bar 14. Bar 14 is a micro double bottom with 12. We went down, up, and back down on 14, and then we rallied. And this bar closed on its high tick, back above support, last month's high, and back above a round number 61.20. Probably important prices. It could be a breakout test with the one low, but this breakout test has a lot of momentum going into it, and we're closing above this price level. So I expect us to go higher. Reasonable to buy the close or buy with a stop and put your protective stop below 12, expecting higher prices. We had a deep pullback on bar 15, and we have a doji bar, so bad follow through for the bulls who bought the close here. You may be disappointed enough with this bad follow through that you'll use the close of this bar or whatever rally we get to sell out of your longs, expecting the bears to overpower the bulls here. What also could have happened is any bears that were short up here saw bar 14 and were disappointed, and then they used bar 15 to get out at the close of 13 of their losing positions, buying back their shorts, causing the market to turn up. So we could have disappointed bulls, we could have disappointed bears. We also could have a micro double top here. We went up on 14, down on 15, and now back up on 15. But we need to get follow through. For the bulls, it's minimal follow through. We're channeling higher with a higher high and a higher low. And we've been making higher lows since 12. We have a higher low 13, 14, 15, and a higher high 13, 14, 15. So we're channeling higher. I think that this could be a bear flag. It looks like a breakout test of these lows, the breakout point, and the breakout may be failing here. So we may be going higher. Minimal follow through, bull bar, but closing below its midpoint. Breakout test of the 1, 2, 3 low. We still have a body gap between the low close of 1 and now the high close of 16. So we do have gaps here, and it's reasonable to sell below this bar. This is a sell signal bar because it's closing below its midpoint, but it's a bad sell signal bar because it's a bull bar. Therefore, there may be buyers down here. There were buyers on 15 into the body of 14. We have a lot of overlap in this rally. We're channeling higher, and we may go higher, but I expect this rally to not get very far before we find profit-taking, disappointed bulls, and more selling pressure. More follow through for the bulls. It's a doji bar, it's a bull bar, probably going higher. consecutive bull bars. Now we have 5 consecutive bars channeling higher. So bears may be disappointed enough with this rally that they look to cover above these highs. If the breakout test is a test of 1, 2, 3 low, it looks like we're closing above those prices now. So we may be going higher, and we may need to pull back to test support before we rally. Failed bear breakout on 18, reversing up into a strong bull reversal bar, closing near its high. Small tail, but I expect higher prices. This could be the pullback that I was looking for. Strong enough rally, the first reversal down will probably be minor, and it looks like it's turning into a bear trap. For that reason, any bears that took this short here will probably cover above this bar, because now they are holding a losing position. If you're a bear and you saw this sell-off, you're going to probably look to sell at the midpoint here, bar 18. The problem is the stop entry came before the midpoint here for 17 and 18. So because the stop entry triggered and is failing, I expect those bears to give up on their position. And that explains what's happening here on bar 19. Bit of a climactic bar, prominent tail, and we're testing the moving average and selling off. So we have sellers down here. It could be bears expecting a bear trend, looking short near the moving average. The only problem is we have like 7 or 8 bars up, and that's too much momentum and too much buying pressure to be selling right now. The bears need bear bars, and so far we don't have them. So consecutive bull bars, probably always in long, probably going higher, but tail, so we may need to pull back. Big surprise bar on bar 20. We sold off briefly, tested support, the outside bar close, or 61.25, the round number, and we rallied. And it looks like bears got out of their shorts above 19 and gave up on their positions. It's reasonable to expect there to be more selling at the last strong bear bar here on bar 7, and it looks like bears gave up here. The buying pressure was much stronger than the selling pressure. The problem with this bar is that it looks like a buy vacuum test of resistance. We have an obvious magnet here that was likely to be tested, yesterday's low. It looks like it would have been tested in this rally, but it failed before we could get there. And now we're only getting there with this strong climactic bar. And this is not sustainable behavior, and for that reason, we need to pull back. So this might be more of a sell the close bar than a buy the close bar, or buy a pullback bar. It's reasonable to expect a pullback down to either the 18 or 19 high. Bad follow through 21, channeling higher but doji bar and stalling at yesterday's low. If we continue to go sideways or we start to move down, any bulls that were long inside of this bar may look to give up. And that's probably why we got 22. We have a pullback. It looks like we're trying to test the moving average, and we didn't quite get there. I expect us to get there. 22 is good enough context for a double top, and we're right at resistance, yesterday's low. The problem is we're right above the moving average, and we had a really strong rally that got us here. So there's going to be buyers inside of this gap and inside of whatever low you want to pick, maybe 18, 19, or 20. So 22 probably going lower, but tail, we may need to pull back, and whatever sell-off we get may not be very strong. We may find buyers. Good follow-through, 23, probably going lower, but again, tail, if it's so bearish, why are bears covering their shorts into the close of the bars? But breakout and follow-through, reversal and follow-through, reasonable to expect lower prices. We're closing below the moving average now, but we're closing above this bar's high, and we're getting close to the bottom of this buy climax, the bar 20 low. So probably going lower, but we may need to pull back. Bar 24 is an inside bar. It's a bull bar. It's a doji bar, a trading range bar, and we're stalling at the moving average. This could be the pullback for the bears, expecting a second leg down from the 22 sell-off, but I expect whatever sell-off we get to not get very far before we find buyers. Surprise bar, but climactic bar on 25. Bad buy signal bar, doji bar closing below its midpoint, and testing yesterday's low and selling off. It's a climactic bar, clearly a bigger body and a bigger bar with a prominent tail. That tells you that this could be a second leg up from this strong rally, and we may be trying to make a double top with a 21 close. It looks like we tested that price level to the tick and then we sold off. So this again may be more of a sell the close bar than a buy the close bar, and we may find profit taking up here. But 25 is strong enough for a second leg, therefore we're probably going higher and we may need to pull back, maybe test of the 24 or 23 high. Small pullback and then good follow through on 26 bull bar, but tail and again possible double top with 21. So probably profit taking up here, we may need to pull back. Small pullback, pause bar, doji on 27. Probably going to find profit taking up here. Reversal bar, but nothing to reverse. We have an inside bar. It's a bull doji bar, closing on its high tick, but again, channeling higher and losing momentum near the low of yesterday. Outside down, 29, probably going lower, strong enough for a second leg down and good enough context. The problem is we're getting into the gap created between 24 and 26. We're right above the moving average and we have too much buying pressure to look to sell and hold short. So if you're shorting here, I think it's wise to sell a pullback and look to scalp. 29 probably going lower, but traders bought the close instead of sold the close. Bar 30, good signal bar for the stop entry long, but I think we're forming a trading range up here and we may be too high in the range to look to buy. And for that reason, traders sold the close of bar 30. Second leg down from 29 could be a second leg trap. We're testing the low close of 24 where the market initially started to turn up, and we're right near our whole number, 61.30. We're breaking below the moving average. We might be always in short, but this is really the first breakout bar and we need to see the follow through. Bad follow through. Just like 29 was a good breakout bar, it's really not resetting the market cycle. Therefore, you need to see the follow through, and bar 30 was bad follow through. So 31, strong bear breakout, probably going lower, possible always in short, but we need follow through, and that follow through is a strong bull bar closing on its high tick. It's a good signal bar for the stop entry long, and it's a reasonable trade. I think we're making higher lows and higher highs in some sort of bull channel. Maybe it looks something like this, which is reasonable. We could be forming a spike and channel pattern, but overall we're in a trading range and we may be in the middle or near the high of the range. So if you're taking this trade, I would look to scalp and get out pretty quick if it starts to turn down. 33, trader sold the close of 32. The stop entry never triggered. We've reversed up from the low close on 31 and the whole number 61.30. So we may be near the bottom of the range, and this may be more of a buy the close bar than sell the close. Small pullback and then sell off on 34, probably going lower, but now we have 2 or 3 legs down and we're getting close to the bottom of the range. Possibly always in short, we tested the moving average and sold off, closing on our low, and we may be moving lower. Outside bar, bad follow through for the bears. If it's so bearish, how come we're channeling sideways? We do have a failed bull breakout, broke above the EMA and reversed down, but we're failing to close beyond the prior bar. It looks like we closed at that prior bar's low. So we may find buyers down here, possibly at the low of 23 or 24. Traders bought the close on bar 36 and we're reversing up, forming a strong bull reversal bar, closing on its high tick. The problem is we're right below the moving average, and that is going to be resistance. We do have some sort of small spike and wedge channel pattern happening here. And we have consecutive bear bars. So it's not ideal, but the context is reasonable enough to bet on a trading range. And we're low in the range here. So reasonable stop entry long for the bulls, but I would be quick to get out and I would look to scalp. Deep pullback, trying to test the low close, and it looks like we didn't quite get there on 37, and then we rallied. The buy setup triggered, and it's a good entry bar for the bulls, again closing on its high tick. I expect us to go higher, but we run the risk of double topping with 32. 32 is nearly a shaved bar. It's closing on its high tick. Therefore, traders are going to be buying the close of that bar. And any trader that bought the close of that bar and held through this disappointing follow through may look to take profits up here, and therefore we run the risk of double topping here. So I would be quick to get out of my longs. Small pullback and then a rally again, closing on its high tick. Now we have 3 implied legs up in an overall trading range. We're probably going higher, but I'm not sure how sustainable this breakout and pullback is. And we're getting close to the high of this strong bear bar, 31, where traders, the stop entry triggered and then we sold off sharply. So we've run the risk of double topping here, maybe a lower high double top after the sell off on 29. Channeling higher, 39, small bar, losing momentum. So we may find profit taking up here. Looks like we're closing above the high close, 30, and we may go higher. But instead, traders are taking profits and selling the close of 39. Strong bear bar, nearly outside down, right below resistance and right above the moving average. We have a higher low here and a lower high here, so it's breakout mode and we're forming a triangle. I suspect that whatever sell-off we get, we'll find buyers down here, and I suspect whatever rally we get, we'll find profit taking up here. Failed bear breakout on 41, probably sellers above for a second leg down from 40. Deep pullback and a test of the moving average, 42, reversing up, but doji bar, probably sellers above. Instead, sellers at the close. 43 is turning down, closing just above the moving average, and I expect us to go lower, but we have a prominent tail on this bar, and we're just going sideways, forming a small, tight trading range. It could be 2 legs down and an overall bull flag, but we're near the middle of the range. We have a higher low and a lower high, so it's breakout mode. Probably better to wait. Looks like the bear breakout is failing on 42. We've reversed up, forming a small bull reversal bar just at the moving average. I expect us to go higher. Bears may look to cover above this bar. For that reason, it's a reasonable stop entry long. But the long never triggered, and 45 turned down from the close of 44. It's 2 or 3 legs down in an overall trading range. I expect us to go a little bit lower, but I expect bad follow through after this bar. And instead, it looks like we're getting a give up bar. Looks like the bulls are giving up on their longs, and we have this big bear breakout on 46. We're breaking out below the pivot low on 35.36, and I expect us to go lower, but now we're getting into all the buying pressure that we saw earlier in the day. So there's going to be buyers anywhere in here. So good bar for the bears, but weak sell-off, and then a climactic bar late in this sell-off. We may find profit taking here. We're reversing up from below bar 46. Now we have a strong bull reversal bar closing on its high. Reasonable stop entry for the bulls, but this sell-off on 46 may be too strong, and we may find sellers above this bar. For that reason, we have 48 turning down, but closing above the low close on 46. So for that reason, we may find buyers below. Buyers below on 49 turning up, second entry long for the bulls, reasonable stop entry, but it never triggered. And 50 is turning down, closing near its low. We may be going lower, and we may get another give up bar like we did on 46, because the stop entry for the bulls triggered on 48 with bad follow through, and then traders are probably using 49 to get out at that same price or with a smaller loss, which is why we got 50. So 50 probably going lower, but instead tight trading range, and traders bought the close of 50. It looks like we're finding support here. Probably breakout mode. We have a strong bar on 51, but prominent tail tells you that we may need to pull back before we rally. Outside down 52, and now we're oscillating bear, bull, bear, bull, bear, bull. So I expect whatever follow through we get to not get very far before it fails. 52 possibly going lower, but I expect bad follow through. Another bull bar on 53. Probably better to just wait for the breakout at this point. 54, bear inside bar, and then bear breakout 55, but smaller bar and weak close, probably buyers below this bar. Channeling lower but prominent tail, possibly going lower but probably profit taking before too long. Another bear bar at 57. Now we have 4 consecutive bars down and a slow drip breakout out of the small tight trading range. I expect it not to get very far. 58 probably going lower. Bear bar. Now we have 5 bars and a decent follow through here, closing below the prior bar. But if you're a bear, whatever rally we get, I would probably look to cover. Looks like a give up bar on 59, prominent tail, probably going lower, but we may need to pull back first. Now it looks like we're testing inside of the range of this outside bar where the bears got trapped earlier. And it looks like we reversed up from that price level. 60 going sideways where the trapped bears are probably getting out, break even. We could have a micro double bottom here, and it's not a good buy signal bar, so whatever breakout we get may need to pull back before it gets very far. Instead, we're getting a bear breakout, this time testing last month's high and reversing up. It's also testing the bad buy signal bar here, 12, but we didn't quite get there. We're also right at a round number, 61.20. It's an overall trading range day, and we're getting low in the range. So if I'm short, I'm probably taking profits below this bar. More follow through 62, and then 63 turning up, forming a strong bull bar. Reasonable to get out of shorts above that bar, but we may have too much selling pressure, and we may find sellers above that bar. Instead, sellers at the close. 64 outside down, but not closing below the low. I expect us to go lower, but we may face a pullback first, or the breakout might fail and we might form a bull reversal bar. Instead, doji bar going sideways. Now we're hesitating at last month's high here, this green line, and I expect more disappointment. Failed bull breakout 66, but channeling higher, probably sellers above, buyers below. 67, strong bear breakout closing on its low. I expect lower prices, but we may find profit taking down here. And looks like that's what we're getting. 68 turning up. It's second entry long, but possibly too tight of a channel to look to buy yet. Therefore, probably sellers at the close or above this bar. 69, nearly outside down, but doji bar. Looks like the bears could be losing momentum. Probably going lower, but I expect disappointment. 70, channeling lower, and then 71, more follow through, but getting climactic with bigger bodies and bigger bars. So we may find profit taking down here. Now we're channeling lower. We have a lower low on the day, so I expect it to be disappointing. 72, here's the disappointment. Relatively strong bull bar, but small compared to the sell-off. Reasonable to get out of shorts above that bar. 73, channeling higher, but doji. Not ideal, so probably profit taking and selling above this bar, and probably buyers not too far below. Instead, we're getting a bull surprise. It looks like the bears are giving up on bar 74. Bar 74 is a strong bar, probably always in long, but we need to see follow through. Duplicate bar on 75, probably going higher. It's a buy the close rally, and we're near the end of the day. It could be a buy the close rally into the close of the day. Strong bars probably going higher, but bad follow through here, 76. Weak close, probably buyers below. Instead, buyers at the close for 77. Strong bar, second leg up. In an overall trading range day, we have one strong leg, a pause, a pullback, and then a second strong leg up. So we may find profit taking up here, which is why we got 78. 78 looks strong enough for a second leg down. Bulls would probably use whatever rally we get to take profits, either at the high close or above the highs, or even at this round number, 61.30. Instead, sellers at the close, 79, breaking out strong to the downside, closing below the moving average, probably going lower, but possibly disappointing. And then 80, disappointing, and 81, more disappointment. So overall, a trading range day with a bearish tone. I think it was difficult to be long over here, at least until you get bar 14, and then disappointing follow through 15. Clearly always in long to me on 18 after this bear trap. Bar 6 clearly always in short. Well, I say clearly, I'm not sure how clear it is, but it's strong enough for a second leg. And then when you get 7, clearly always in short, probably going lower, but we may need to pull back first. And that's what happened here with this inside bar. So pretty difficult day, very trappy and lots of bad follow through, and really not a good day for stop orders. Probably a better day to buy pullbacks or sell the close, buy the close. That's my read and that's my practice. Thank you.